Come on in, everyone. Come on here because we are back for a Ready to Love recap on episode 8, y'all. Episode 8. And this episode was called Exes Meet the Nexus. That's what it was called. That's what it was called. But if y'all saw my thumbnail, I want to retitle this whole episode. And I want to call it, do you pick by your eyes or do you pick by your ears? How about y'all? If you sit in front of a person and you just getting ready to know a person, or you're in the midst of a person, do you prefer, if you only had to choose one, you only can choose one, because I know we both, all of us want to pick by our ears and our eyes. We both want to do both of them. But if you had to lean on one, let's say you had a disability that came upon you, and you couldn't listen or you couldn't see this person, when you're evaluating them in a relationship, which sensory would you use? Would you choose your eyes or would you choose your ears? I'm going to tell you right now which one I'm choosing. Most of you probably already know. I'm choosing my eyes. I'm choosing my eyes. I know Jesus says walk by faith, not by sight. But when it comes to relationships, I'm going to walk by sight. I'm going to go off of what I see. I'm not going to go off of what someone tells me. Because most of the time when someone's lying, the lying is coming from them speaking. It's with the tongue. That's where the lies roll off, with the tongue. I'd rather a person show me they love me than a person who tells me they love me. That's just me. Not everybody's that way. If I have to choose one, I want to be shown you love me versus always telling me you do love me. If I have to choose one, I would love both. I would love both. I would love to be told and I would love to be shown. But in the end, if some way, somehow, I only could choose one, I would want to be shown. And when I look at this week on Ready to Love, and I see that Dominique went home. He went home, everybody. We were kind of surprised because we actually thought Laron was going to go home. A lot of people thought it's got to be Laron's time to go home. It's got to be his time to go home. But surprise, 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 it was Dominique. Now, Dominique went home mostly, it seems as if, because he wasn't pursuing women enough. And I think when they're talking about pursuing, I don't know if it's just calling, but it sounds like it might be the sweet words. I don't know if he was pursuing. I don't know if he was calling enough, right? So they sent him home. He wasn't feeding up the ear candy. Dominique is kind of straightforward out here. He's kind of straightforward. I knew on that last date he had with Maya, Maya was not happy whatsoever with the things that Dominique was saying to her. She didn't like the words. She did not like the words one bit. So I knew that was going to be a big flop. I've been wanting to see these two together. I said, I really want to see Dominique and Maya together, and we got to see it, and it was a big flop. Laron, on the other hand, the one that goes to the club, he told us he goes to the club. He goes to the club 5-6 days a week, and then on this episode, he told us that he wants to sit at home. When he is at home, he wants to sit at home and play video games all day long, to the point where he says he will even call in sick from his work to play video games all day long for a new game that came out. He's telling us what he does, not what he might do, what he could possibly do, whether there's a chance he could do it. Laron has told us over and over again, this is what I do. So you don't need to see me do it, because what I'm telling you is this is what I do. Now, I'm over here Tesla in my comments on Love is Blind, because we battling Clay. Do we like Clay? Do we not like Clay? I'm kind of the only one right now still rooting for Clay over there, because that gentleman over there is talking about what he's scared of he might become. But we got Laron here sitting in front of us saying, no, this is what I do. I go to the club definitively. I'm testifying this is what I do. And then when a new video game comes out, I sit and play the video game all day long. And if I'm not done playing this video game and I want to play it some more, I call in sick. But Laron is still here. Laron didn't get eliminated. How the heck did that happen? Well, it sounds like it didn't happen because Dominique didn't give the ladies the ear candy they wanted. That's what they wanted. They wanted the ear candy. And you see, Laron is over here feeding ear candy. He's telling Maya, as we see in the previews and everywhere else, I want to marry you. I want to be with you. We could be married right now, right here and now. Let's go get married tomorrow. He's done said this to Maya plenty of times. When you gonna get married, Maya? His days are booked. His days are booked. He's in the club Tuesday through Sunday. That only leaves Monday. And Monday, the new video game comes out. He's gonna be sitting there playing that all day. So when you gonna get married? He ain't got no time on his schedule. And boy, oh boy, what a disappointment Maya was. I guess I'm back where I was. I said, I sure hope Maya ain't a gold digger. And I don't mean a gold digger in the fact that she don't have her own money, because she got her own money, but Maya is definitely absolutely clouded by the money. But we're gonna go over this. We're gonna go over all of this of looking with your eyes and not looking with your picking based on your eyes and not based on your ears. And you all know who the biggest culprit of that is right now, Vanessa. Vanessa picking the F-boy Chaz, the old man in the club, 47 years old. I don't even need to hear nothing from Chaz. All I need to know is you 47, you never been married, you ain't got no kids, you never been engaged, you never nothing. You ain't never done it. You ain't never been in love. Love enough that you would even propose to a woman. You ain't never done it. Just like Mieka told Laron, you ain't never dated a woman with kids. You ain't never done it. You don't know what it looks like. You don't even know how it feels. That's what I want to say about Chaz. Chaz is watch Chaz. All he does is go around and bring flowers to everybody and tell everybody how beautiful they are and wonderful they are. That's all he does. Obviously, he's been doing this for a long, long time. I told ladies on a previous episode, the hardest man to get to the altar, if that's where you're trying to go, is a man with the characteristics of Chaz. I'm never saying nothing's impossible. All things are possible, but it's one of the hardest men to get there. And we see right now, here we got Chaz on this show doing what he do. Doing what he do. Watch your eyes. Go based on your eyes, not based on what somebody tells you. Marry up the two in the end, but pay attention to what you see. What you see, not what people are feeding you in your ears. And then we got Alonzo over here. People don't like Alonzo because he's silly. He's always cracking bad jokes. They some bad jokes, all right. But if you watch who Alonzo is, aside from the silliness, I'm not saying nobody need to like that silliness. I'm not saying that anybody likes to like that corniness. But it seems as if women are always at the top of their list. They want a man who is honest and who's going to be faithful. And the one thing about Alonzo, like I said, is he's corny. He's got silly jokes. But well, you know what vibes I don't get from him? A cheater and a playboy. I sure don't. I don't get a cheater and a playboy. I didn't even get those vibes from Dominique. Dominique told Maya when he was talking to Maya, you seem like you are already taken. You seem like you a married man, a married woman. I don't chase married women. Good. I'm glad to know that, because later on, maybe I won't have to worry about you chasing women that are in other relationships. Why be mad at that? Why be mad at a man who says, I feel you have a strong connection with another man, and therefore I kind of step back? Now, she could be mad because Maya, of course, wanted him to chase her. She could be mad, but she should respect it. She should respect it, because that's a good characteristic to have as a man, that at least I don't have to worry about my man chasing a bunch of women in the street that are already married or with other men, because I already can see that he don't like to chase women that are already hooked up. That seemed like a good thing. Is it his job to still chase you while you booed up? Or is it your job to make it clear to him, no, I'm not booed up with him. I'm still available. That's what Maya should have done. Not get mad. She should have said, no, I'm not really with him. I'm really not with him. I am still available. Then maybe Dominique would have pursued more. Maybe he would have. I don't know. But I knew right away that Mieka wasn't going to like this exercise of Meet the Nexus. I didn't know what the issue was, but the minute Tommy sat all these ladies down and said, hey, this episode, we going to meet the Nexus, I saw the look on Mieka's face, and she was mad. Mad, mad, mad. She didn't like it. She didn't like it. I knew right away she ain't got no exes that want to come. I knew right away, sitting in that lounge, I didn't even need to come see her come and give that speech with Tommy. I knew right away Mieka ain't got no exes that want to come. And I'm going to tell you something. I know a lot of people been out with a lot of men that ain't worth nothing. But in your course of dating, if you have not ended any relationship on a good term, it's a red flag. We talk about red flags. I think it was Alyssa B. Somebody told me a orange flag. I'm with that too. But let me tell you, it's a red flag. And it does mean that you need to investigate it. That means that you were never able to end any relationship on good cordial terms. That's a problem. That means are you good at resolving conflict? It doesn't mean you need to be good friends with your exes. Let's forget about this show. Well, Mieka was telling me that she don't even really talk to none of her exes. Period. Period, point blank. Even Maya said all her exes are on block. All your exes, none of your past relationships might have ended because you weren't made for each other. You didn't get along well. But you mean to tell me you don't have any ex in your background whereby you ended on amicable terms? No wonder Mieka looked at Jonathan and was confused. I always said people come from their reference point. And when Jonathan was mentioning his relationship with his ex, that he had a good co-parenting relationship, and that he said, oh yeah, I could see my ex wanting to get back with me. What did Mieka automatically assume with Jonathan? Oh, you got baby mama drama. Why do you assume that? Why do you assume that just because I have a relationship that ended on good terms and we have a good co-parenting relationship, that all of a sudden it's baby mama drama? Because now you look at Mieka. People come here based on their reference points. Mieka ain't never seen it. She's never experienced it. She's never experienced an ex who can still co-parent well. We can still get along. That maybe that ex might still say, you know what, I could see myself back with them. Maybe any of that. Mieka could never see it because you know why? She don't have it in her life. Mieka's mean. Let's be real. I'm not giving those men no passes, because if they ain't supporting their children and they ain't paying child support and they're not in their children's lives, then they not worth nothing either. But for her to say she ain't got no exes, not even an ex-boyfriend. Tommy said, what do you mean? You mean your exes? Mieka sat up here and said, let me back up. Mieka said, I've only had 2 exes. I knew that was a lie right then. I said, what about the man who flued you out? She said she only got 2 exes. I go, Mieka, what are you qualifying as an ex? You mean 2 exes? Exes are only the people that you had a child with? You didn't have no boyfriends where you didn't have a baby? So every ex you had a baby with them. So then finally she says, well, no. Tommy says, oh, you mean so none of the baby daddies want to come? She goes, no, it was another one. I go, well, then that means you have more than 2 exes, Mieka. You had more than 2 exes, and you're not friends with none of them. No guy you went out for just like maybe a month, just a month. We're not talking about nobody you had babies with or you was married to. Just a gentleman you went out for a month. He can't come here. I know people don't want to come on shows. I know people don't want to come on Radio Love. I could understand that. But I think Mieka's situation is deeper. So I don't want nobody telling me, well, I wouldn't want to come on this show. No, I'm not. I'm talking about something deeper. I don't think Mieka has that person in her life, period. Not that person who doesn't want to come on the show. Lots of us may not have a person who may want to come on the show, but you don't want to have no one. You don't have no one, period. All your relationships ended poorly? Nah. People want to point out red flags. That's another one for Mieka. Another one. Mieka don't get along with people. Let's be real. She barely got along with some of these women on the show. Mieka's mean. But I do want to say who I was impressed with, who showed how a past relationship and co-parenting looked like, was Rasheena. Rasheena. And this is the thing about Rasheena, and I'm going to say it about Rasheena again, how Rasheena gets put in a friend zone. Rasheena, girl, if you listen to me, you really need to pay attention to me. Because of all the people, I really like Rasheena. And the only thing I'm telling Rasheena is her dating style gets her put in the friend zone. But the part where her friendship, the part where she's a cool lady, the part where Rasheena knows how to get along with people, it has bode well for her in her co-parenting with her ex-husband. You see what I'm saying? So she's actually able to maintain a relationship. She's actually able to resolve conflict. It's qualities that are good in a friendship, but they're also qualities that are good in a relationship, a romantic relationship. She knows how to resolve conflict. I love seeing the relationship between Rasheena and her ex. Even her ex said, I'm happy to see who's sitting here in front of me, Chaz, at the moment. He don't know everything about him. But the fact that at least you're not choosing no ghetto men that are going to be around my children, my boys. I'm glad to see that you look like you're picking at least decent men. But I was happy to see that relationship she had with her ex, how they were able to sit in front of each other and have decent conversation, that somehow through all of this, they've been able to resolve their conflict. Because relationships are about resolving conflict. Every relationship has conflict. It doesn't matter whether it's you with your child, whether it's you with a husband or a spouse, whether it's you on a job. Every relationship is going to involve some level of conflict. And if you don't know how to resolve conflict, you're not going to last in any relationship. You're not going to be able to be in a marriage. You're not going to be able to be in a boyfriend, girlfriend. You're not going to be able to be on a job too long because you're going to keep getting into conflict all the time and you don't know how to resolve it. So all types of relationships are going to fall apart. Even your friendships are going to fall apart. And I like to see that about Rasheena. But Rasheena's sticking point, like I keep telling you, is men are not looking to what the friendship part that Rasheena brings to a relationship, which is very, very good. They get stuck and they put her in the friend zone so soon. And a lot of that is also of Rasheena's Rasheena's can control some of that. She's getting herself put in getting put in the friendship zone. And I'm not going to go over it again because I've done it on plenty of videos. But in the end, it will be a great quality about Rasheena in a relationship. But initially, it doesn't draw the men unto her and makes her see all those other wonderful qualities about her. But I really like that. I don't like that she was all hung up on Chaz because Chaz is an F-boy. He's a 47-year-old F-boy, and give him another 5 years, he's going to be a cat daddy. He's going to be a cat daddy. He's not too far away from it. And Vanessa is sitting over here, pulling up in the driveway, parking in the driveway, getting flowers and listening to what Chaz is saying, but she not watching what Chaz is doing. If you watch what Chaz is doing, if Vanessa talked to any of the other ladies, she would know. But more than likely, Vanessa's not talking to any of the ladies because like I said, Vanessa don't talk to people. She don't have good customer service. She doesn't know how to have conversation and dialogue with other people. So she's probably experiencing Chaz in a bubble. She's listening to him, but she's not watching what he's doing with other ladies. And she's probably not talking to other women about what Chaz is doing. We see these other previews coming up, and she's about to get a big old surprise when she walks in the bedroom and there is Chaz all booed up and cuddled up with Mieka. Once again, Mieka. And what's going on with Patrice's picker? That man drove, flat out said, I was a whore. That's what he said he was. He said, I guess he's saying he was reformed. Now he's married. He never thought he would get married because he was a whore out in the streets. Is this one of the men that, Patrice said when she was driving 45 minutes to meet? So now she worried about, is Alonzo not mature? Can Alonzo be serious? Is Alonzo all about fun and games? But Alonzo ain't showing me no signs that he's trying to run these streets and be a cheater. That should be your number one priority. If you coming from a background of dealing with cheat men like this man Dro admitted to, your number one criteria to do is to find a man who's going to be faithful to you. Forget about whether or not his jokes are bad. Find out if he's going to be, watch what he does. Stop worrying about the jokes necessarily coming out of his mouth. But guess what? This is what Alonzo was indicted on for all the women. Alonzo was indicted by his words, pretty much. Not by what he does. Not by who he might, his essence be on the inside. He has been indicted on his words, his silliness, his bad jokes. Can he be serious? You know, these bad questions on a date. He says he likes to poke and prod and go for shock value. His words are getting him in trouble. His words are what are getting him in trouble. He's the opposite. He's not actually using the right words. Some men on here, like the Chazes of the world, they're real slick with the words. They know all the right words to say. But they follow up. What they do is foul. The words are good, but their actions are foul. And you see, Alonzo's the opposite. His words are bad. His words are bad, but what he does what he actually does with himself, the way he interacts with the women that he's interested in, he's not doing a bad job on that whatsoever. But everybody is going off his words. You know, I'm gonna tell you this: what's easier to change, a person's words or the way they actually act? You would love both to be right. You would love the words to be sweet and the action to be sweet. But if you got to correct somebody, let me tell you what's harder to correct: correcting bad habits. Correcting bad habits. I can say all day long, I want to eat right. I can say all day long, I want to exercise. I can say all those things. But you know what the hardest thing for me to correct is eating right necessarily and working out. That's what's hard. Doing it. Saying it is easy. Doing it is another thing. Concentrate on what people do, not just what they say. You want both, but in the end, concentrate on what they do. Watch them. Don't listen just to their words, their promises, what they gonna do. They love you this, but do they show you? Do the things they do for you, do the way they treat you, does it show that they love you? Or are they just telling you things because they want something from you? Right? A lot of people say words because they want something from you. Be careful of those people. What was going on with William and Patrice when William said one of his red flags with Patrice was because she says she likes to tan, because she says she is high yellow and she likes a little bit more color. At first I was like, why is he so upset? Does it mean because he don't like the waves coming from the tanning machine? He thinks it's not good for her, healthy. Then all of a sudden he brought in because I'm adopted. And I said, whoa, wait a minute. Let me listen a little bit, William. What's going on? So I guess he was trying to combine and say, well, because she likes to tan, that mean, and she called herself high yellow, does that mean either he's taking it as she doesn't like herself, or she's trying to put herself above, and because he was adopted, he's sensitive to people not accepting who they are? Was that what it was all about? Did William just try to tie up a tanning booth with his adoption? Is this what just went on? Or maybe this is some get back. Remember somebody, I can't remember my brain. I got senioritis going on right now. Wasn't it somebody a couple of weeks ago, they were eliminating William over something frivolous? And I go, that's frivolous. Was it Patrice who did it? Was it Patrice who eliminated William over something frivolous? I can't even remember, y'all. Please remind me down in the comments, or with somebody else. But sometimes some people be coming up with some things that are frivolous. And for William to tie, I want a tan because I'm a little pale, or I'm high yellow and pale, and I want a little bit more melanin in my skin. For you to tie that to your adoption, I was like, William, that's a reach. That is a reach. Somebody mentioned that William out here playing the game too. I think he is too, y'all. I think William is out here playing the game, making sure that in the end, somebody gonna say yes to him. Do I think it's real though? No. Like we've been talking about down in the comments, this is more like Hunger Games. Who's gonna survive to the end? Because I don't really see no real strong love connections on any of these people. None whatsoever. It's more like the Hunger Games, Survivor. Who gonna last to the end? And Dro said, well, if I got to choose between the two, I'm going to choose William because William's grown. And Alonzo over here seemed like he's a little maybe too young, too immature. We know that about Alonzo. And I'm not even saying that Patrice and Alonzo need to be put together. I'm not saying that at all. But I do believe that one of the things, and I've been saying it all season long, that I like about Alonzo more than I like about some of the other men on here, is Alonzo seems to be a genuine and true in the heart level. I see all them other things on the outside y'all see. I see the silliness. I see the immaturity. I see a lot of those things. But I also see a little bit deeper on Alonzo. And this episode, Alonzo said, I'm going to show Patrice that I can be a serious person. I can be romantic. I can do all these things. I'm going to take her to a museum. I'm going to shut the museum down. I'm going to put rose petals out. I'm going to have more serious conversation. I'm going to throw a little joking in at the end and get on one knee and then fake it out and be like, girl, I ain't proposing to you yet. I'm going to still keep it a little fun and light, but I am going to show her that I'm not a 15-year-old boy, and I do know how to love on a woman. I do know how to make her feel special. I know how to give her things she's never received before, like these rose petals. Patrice said no man has ever laid down rose petals for her. Never. So she got to experience something she's never experienced before. I love that for Patrice. And I hope it makes Patrice raise her expectations in men. I really do. I hope in some ways Alonzo may be young in the mind, but it looks like he taught her something on this date. It looks like he did. So maybe she'll take that forward. Maybe in the end, whether they get together or not, she can say that the first person that ever laid some rose petals for me was the man I thought was the most immature. Okay. Now, can they last long? Can they last out into the future? I don't know, because I'm not for sure what type of man Patrice really likes. I'm kind of confused when Dro, whoever his name, showed up. I was confused. I got the tattoos. She likes tattoos. I saw the tattoos. And I said before, I said, what does Patrice like? Does Patrice like bad boys? Because that's what Dro described him as, bad boys. And like I told you about Alonzo, Alonzo's not a bad boy. Alonzo is a sweet boy. He's not a bad boy. And I don't mean sweet like this kind of sweet. I mean, he's not a bad boy. He isn't. He may say the things he says, but he's not a bad boy in the streets. And Dro said he was a whore in the streets. So what is Patrice's picker? Is Patrice's picker the man with the sweet words, the kind words, the man that know how to get a whole lot of women because they know all the right words to say, but yet their actions don't line up with what they talk about and who they are? That sounds like that might be what Patrice goes for. It sounds like Dro was a sweet talker, candy to the ears, but his actions were foul. And it sounds like Alonzo's the complete opposite. His words are not good. His words don't always make the ladies feel comfortable, but his actions, who he is deep in his core, seems like it's way more solid. Is Patrice's picker off? Everybody, what do you think? Is Patrice's picker off? I know Vanessa's picker is off. Vanessa goes off what a man says too, because that's why she's going off of Chaz. She's going off what he looks, what he presents, Chaz's resume, his financial security, all those types of things. But she's not looking at nothing Chaz does. She's not looking at his body of work. You hear what I'm saying? His body of work. You ever put a resume together and people just put their job titles and what they did, but then you ask them, what did you accomplish on that job? You ever interview anybody out there, interviewers? You ever get down in the details of a person's resume? What did you do? Look at Chaz more deeply. Don't look at just the headlines. Don't just look at the job titles. Look at how he left women. Look at what's your body of work. Not where you worked, who you are, what you wear, what you have, all the stuff on the outside. What are your relationships with people? Because in a relationship, that's what it is. You're in a relationship with a person. You're not in a relationship with a car. You're not in a relationship with a house. You're not in a relationship with a body. You're not in a relationship with nobody with good hair and fair skin. You're not in a relationship with those things. You're in a relationship with a person. Okay? And if Vanessa, I already tell you right now, Vanessa is going off of Chaz's words. She's going off his words and what he has, because that's what she wants for her life, but she's not going off the body of work in the resume. So Vanessa is picking based on her ears. I already know that. That's why she's about to get played by Chaz. We've already seen it coming. We've already seen it coming. She's about to get played a big time. But too late. Dominique is gone. Dominique is gone. The other person we saw her with, did she choose to fight for Dominique? No. Even her ex on the date said, well, I already know who you like. You like Chaz because you was validating everything Chaz said. The minute Chaz opened up his mouth, oh, that's for sure. That's true. Dominique was sitting there knowing. He knew at that moment, oh, shoot, I'm just here for a backup. Vanessa's ex, Thomas, Dominique was a little threatened by it. Dominique was a little threatened by the fact that Vanessa could still be friends with this ex, Thomas. It was red flags for him, probably because that's the line he draws a hard line in, I guess. He pretty much talked about, I think that's a thing with Dominique. And Vanessa, I believe, was turned off by it. But I don't know if she was turned off by it or if she was just so much turned on by Chaz. I don't think there was too much Dominique could have said that was going to swing Vanessa over that way. She came in 10 toes down for Chaz. Chaz had the title already. You know, you ever have a boxing match and you say, you darn near got to knock out the champion. You got to knock them out. You just can't go toe to toe with them and then wait for the decision on the end. You'd have to knock them out. And when Dominique came to this date with Vanessa, Chaz was the champion, and he would have had to knock him out with a cold hard punch, and he didn't do that. And in fact, he did the opposite. He said a few things that Vanessa didn't like, and that was a wrap for Dominique when it came to Vanessa. But Vanessa's friend ex Thomas said, you know what, I choose Chaz over Dominique. It seems like Chaz has prepared his whole life for you. That's the problem. He's been preparing for a long, long time. What makes you think now he gonna pull the trigger with you? He's been preparing for a long, long time. That there is a problem. But yeah, what a disappointment with Maya. What a disappointment was with Maya and this friend she brought, Wes, the ex. And then she said Wes still has feelings for her. I'm going to call Maya Risa Tessa. Y'all watch that video I did with the girl who said, who the F did I marry? Risa Tessa, gold digging gone wrong. Gold digging wrong. You got. Same story of Portia Williams. You got. Gold digging gone wrong. You think you getting with a person because you about to get their money or you about to take them, but in the end you get got. That's the story of Portia Williams. It's the story of Risa Tessa. I got, and I'm gonna tell you who else is the story of. It's the story of Maya. I can guarantee you when Maya said she has blocked all her exes, that means most of her exes, they've all ended poorly. And they've all ended poorly because Maya goes after money and then she gets got. I already know who she is. Let's stop calling her Maya. Let's start calling her Risa Tessa, Risa Tisa, whatever the girl's name is. I got a whole video on it. He said Maya is spoiled. He said more than likely Maya goes out with liars and cheaters. And what they do is they tell her exactly what she wants to hear. They spend money on her, but they're really not committed to her. They players in the streets, but they go broke. They probably go broke, giving her everything she wants to have, giving her spoiled. And in the end, they end up probably going over there and doing it to another woman that maybe wants a little bit less. And in the end, she blocks them. It ends poorly. It ends poorly because as we know, Maya's still out here looking for Barack Obama, but she don't want the broke Barack. She wants the Barack Obama, the president of the United States. She want Barack Obama, the president. She don't want the broke Barack, the one. Who did somebody call me in Hawaii? The comments. He says she don't want the Barack from Hawaii. She want the Barack from Washington D.C. Because let me tell you, Wes strikes me as the type of person that he may have some money out there because he looked like he kind of a little bit of a hustler out there in the streets. He looked like he a little hustler, so he probably threw some money around Maya's way. Paid for her to get flew different places, you know, paid for her nails, paid for her hair, you know, took her to maybe a couple of good dinners. But he don't look like he the marrying kind. Let me tell you right now, he did not look like he was the marrying kind whatsoever. And he was trying to subtly tell the women, she's a gold digger. He was trying to tell the men, but without telling the men that she's a gold digger. And Justin said, what a minute, what do you mean? You mean I got to make over 6 figures? You can't accept no man under 6 figures? I told y'all we was going to end up here. I told you from the very beginning we was going to end up here, and here we are. And Maya went over there and did her little thing and looked away. You know when Maya don't like what she hearing. You hear what I'm saying? When she does not like what she's hearing, she does this. And she looks away and she don't look at you. And when Justin let it come out his mouth that, hey, what? I got to be over 6 figures. Maya was like this. But you know who she's believing? She believed in William. She sat up there in that deliberation room and said, well, William says he can afford me. William with 2 ex-wives and 3 kids, and you believe he can afford you? Yeah, because he said it. You believe that William can afford you because he's with the National Guard and he does some comedy in comedy nightclubs, and he got 2 ex-wives and 3 children, Maya, and you believe that he can afford you. Girl. Oh, Risa Tisa, Portia Williams. Wes said, Maya gonna keep you on your toes. He said, let me tell you something. She gonna keep you on your toes. That's a nice way of saying she gonna keep you out here running and humping to keep feeding her all the money she needs. That's his way of saying she gonna run you ragged. That's what Maya's gonna do. run you ragged with her demands and her needs and her wants. That's what it's going to be about the whole time. What she needs, what she wants, what you're not doing. And you're going to be on your toes, running. And then what did Wes give her in the end? Some bad advice. Girl, but keep your standards. You don't need to settle. Wes said, keep your standards, Maya. You don't need to settle out here in these streets because you a good girl and you should hold out, Maya, for what you looking for. Hold out for your Barack Obama, the Washington, D.C. one. Don't get with the one from Hawaii. Wait until he becomes the president of the United States and then go over there and try to snag him away from Michelle Obama. Wait till he becomes a Barack Obama, president of the United States, and then go over there and try to move out the women that are already there. Good luck with that, Maya. Good luck with it. But I'm looking at my notes from Rasheena. I'm going, poor Rasheena. What was that ex's shirt that glittery, bedazzled? Didn't Rasheena tell us she was all things beauty? Rasheena, all things beauty? Is that why this man showed up here in a sequence top? Because he was trying to impress you with all things beauty, but it was a fail, Rasheena. Even Rasheena said, why you so bedazzled? No wonder they broke up. Rasheena said, I can't go out with you. Your fashion sense is horrible. Rasheena, you didn't teach him nothing when you was married. You all things beauty. You didn't teach him no beauty, no fashion, because this man showed up in a bedazzled shirt. Did he come from the club to this meet the new people? He looked like he came straight from the club. And I don't even know if it was a club. It looked like it was from a Vegas night show. He looked like he came from a Vegas show. That was a bad look in the middle of the daytime, all that shimmying going on. But I do believe he kind of let a little something slip. He said Rasheena likes to argue. Did y'all catch that or did I catch it wrong? One of the two. Either did y'all catch it or did I catch it wrong when he said Rasheena liked to argue? I know she do. I know Rasheena like to go toe to toe. I'm telling you, there's this part about Rasheena. That's the other part of her that gets her put in the friend zone. When I did that video about Rasheena's dating style versus Alexis's dating style, and I was telling you that Rasheena's conversation was coming off a little bit too I don't know. I mean, I was like, she was venting, she was doing a whole lot of things, and I think that's also the part that can kind of slip down into Rasheena's conversation. And I think what Rasheena's doing is she's trying to be heard and she's trying to be understood. I think that's what her intent is. I don't necessarily think her intent is to be maybe argumentative and mean, but it can come off like that when you are pushing your opinion on someone a little bit too hard. Sometimes people don't want to hear your opinion. Some people, no matter what you say, they're not going to go along with you. So I think one of the things people got to worry about when they cross over into arguments is, one, yeah, you do want to be the person who can speak up and say how you feel or what you mean, or, you know, talk to a person. But there also comes a time when you know you have to cut it off, right? Because sometimes people don't want to hear what you say, and that's not on you. It's really not on you. But if you keep pushing it and then you move into the argument stage, that is on you. Sometimes you got to learn when to pull back. Sometimes even after you've spoken your piece and you said how you felt, you got to know how to exit the conversation. You got to know how to turn around and walk away, because there is a point in time when a conversation goes from you explaining yourself, you talking about the way you feel, and then when it becomes a full-on argument. An argument takes two people to go back and forth over and over again. And part of me believes that Rasheena wants to be understood. Rasheena wants to be heard, and there may be a part of Rasheena where she goes on too much, on and on and on, and that's when it becomes nagging and argumentative. So one of the things I also want to say, I like Rasheena. I'm giving Rasheena a lot of tips out here because I like Rasheena, and I can see how Rasheena could dip over into the argumentative side, and I can see how Rasheena gets in the friend zone. And for the argumentative side, I would say Rasheena might need to know how to cut off conversations sooner. She can kind of get a little wordy. She can kind of get a little wordy on subjects. And I think that might be viewed from people as being nagging or argumentative. She might need to learn how to speak her piece and then dip on out. That's what I call it. Speak your piece and then dip on out. But this date with Mieka, it wasn't even a date when Uncle Tommy filled in for her, because she ain't got not one male man in her life that could come here and speak for her. Who was that? Who was like that before? A lot of women that came on here and couldn't have nobody come speak for her. Not even an ex that she don't even like. Nobody would show up for her. I'm telling you, Mieka's mean. Mieka is mean. Okay? And she said, Laron sat up there and felt like a third wheel with Justin because it looks like Justin and Mieka are hanging on to each other. But do you see anything long term with Justin and Mieka? I don't. I don't see nothing long term. I think Justin is over here because he likes what Mieka looks like. And he might want another type of relationship with Mieka. That's what I think he's about to use Mieka for. I think Justin goes out with a lot of women who have children, but he ain't interested in marrying none of them. I think he go out with them for a good time. And I think that's what he does. And I think that's what he's setting Mieka up for, to be with Mieka for a good time. I don't know if Mieka will fall for it because she's kind of a tough cookie. She said she sat up there and told this man to her face, yeah, you might get forgotten. Mieka told Justin to his face that you might get forgotten in my life with my children. And Justin said, forgotten? She said, yeah, forgotten. She said it with a straight face. That's how I roll out here in these streets. I just forget about you. And if you don't want to deal with not being forgotten about, then don't come this way. And then Justin went over there and said, that's fine with me. I'll be forgotten, because you know what? He ain't looking for nothing serious. He's okay with being forgotten on a couple of days, because a couple of days he don't want to be there anyway. And she's not just saying it, she does it. If you look at her actions, like I said, do you go with people's words or do you go what they do? She said, this is what I do in relationships. I forget about people. I'm not attentive. And you can watch her and how she moves with men, and you can see that's not how she is. So she's saying it and she's doing it, both. Your eyes are showing you and your ears are telling you. But Justin says, if we argue, I like to get it out. I like to settle it right then and there. I don't want to be going on my day with all this bad juju around me. Let's iron it out right now. And Laron says, no, I'm going to send you a text from the lounge. Girl, I'm going to be out. I'll send you a text from the lounge and check on you and see how you doing and let you know if you want. You can come on down here and have a Henny and Coke with me. But I'm not going to sit there and iron nothing out with you. And in the end, Mieka said that what she figured out with Laron is we just friends. Girl, you didn't just figure it out. You figured it out a long time ago. Because first of all, Laron was already booed up with your friend Koshia. And so you wasn't going to be with Laron in the first place. Because he was all in the Koshia, and you knew it because that was your best buddy on the show. You knew what was going on over there. Laron was in the friend zone long time ago, Mieka. Don't be playing with us. We know what's going on. We know what's going on. But you over here listening to Justin about the fact that he want to be with a woman with 2 kids, with 2 baby daddies that don't co-parent well. I guess they ain't sending no child support either. Girl, he just told you he make under 100K. He can't be over there taking care of you and your 2 kids, and then y'all have some other kids more. You said you don't even want no kids. This is a hot mess. But you know what it is a ripe for a situationship. If that's what people want out here in these streets nowadays, situationships, then go right ahead. This is ripe for a situationship. But in the end, Dominique and Alonzo was on the bottom. I didn't like that Alonzo was on the bottom. I didn't feel like he should be on the bottom. I thought Laron should have been on the bottom. I can't understand why Alonzo was on the bottom. Because what, the only person that liked him was Patrice. But Patrice had a really good date with him. She really liked him. That's what I don't like about this show. That people are going home based on popularity. Right? Laron is popular because people like him as a friend. But don't nobody want to be with him. But you got Alonzo where Patrice is really considering him as her top. But he gets put on the bottom. Come on now. Come on now. I see why Dominique was on the bottom, because no one is considering him their top, right? Because Vanessa is out with Vanessa. She's 2 feet in with Playboy, F-boy, a cat daddy, Chaz. Okay. So I can see how now she's not really serious about him. And then you see what Dominique did with Maya. He told Maya about herself. And she didn't like that. She told Maya, Maya said, you're not pursuing me. He says, well, I'm pursuing you more than you pursuing me. Dominic is too much of a straight shooter. Dominic is too much of a straight shooter. But Maya need to hear the ear candy, Dominic. You got the wrong approach with her. She needs the words, not the actions. She needs the words. When he said, I'm doing more than you're doing for me, he was talking about actions. He was talking about what he was doing. Nah, she talking about your words. Maya goes off words. That's why she Risa Tessa. That's why she Portia Williams, because she go off the words. She goes off the fakery, the facade, the fantasy. As long as you appealing to the fantasy, she gonna like you. William, talking about I can take care of everything you need with my 3 kids and my 2 ex-husbands. Boy, William, get out of here. I don't believe it one bit. Just like you said, you in the gym 5 days a week. Don't believe that either. Let me tell you something. If I be in the gym 5 days a week and I still got 40 pounds to lose, I'm quitting that damn gym. If I'm in the gym 5 days a week for all my whole life and I still got 40 pounds to lose, I'm going to try something else. Maybe it's my diet. Maybe that's my big problem. Maybe it's going to be my diet. Not that I'm not working out enough. Maybe it's what I'm putting in my mouth, the food I'm eating. Like I said, oftentimes our problem is not what we say, is what we do, right? Oftentimes it's not what we say, is what we do. And I'm listening to William and he's saying all the right things, but I don't think he's doing none of them. If he is going to the gym 5 days a week and playing basketball and also working out, he must be doing something else along with that. Like eating cheeseburgers every single day. Come on now, William. Stop lying to us. Laron should have been on the bottom because like he said, Laron's one way want to talk about he's a bad boy, but in the end, he ain't no different from Alonzo. He's still young, in the club, playing video games with a sweetheart. Laron know he got a sweetheart. Laron know he ain't no thug, but he's still running around talking all this stuff. And come to find out, what's his real life like? At home playing video games and then going to the club drinking because he wants some interaction with people. Ladies, line up these words with what you see. Don't look at, like I said, we really wish we could have both. We could look and we could see. In the real world, you can look and you could hear. But in the end, please, don't put on blinders. Really look at what people are doing and don't just get gassed up with the words, right? Don't fall for the okie doke. Don't fall for these scams out here. Portia Williams, Arisa Tessa. Don't fall for them. Look at what they do. Add it up. Does it make sense in your mind? Oftentimes you can avoid all these types of things if you add it up. And the same thing with men. Mieka don't add up, y'all. Mieka does not add up. Her body of work don't add up. I could talk about the men all day. Chaz don't add up. But let me tell you, there's a lot of people who don't add up. Mieka don't add up. Maya makes sense now. Now we know why. Beautiful woman, intelligent, all that. Why Maya's still out here, because she's chasing that paper. She's chasing that paper. And that means she's going to hook up with a lot of men who talk a good game but don't do nothing. That's why all her exes are blocked. It adds up. It makes sense. I got it now, Maya. I got it. So either Maya's going to change her ways or she's going to keep going down the same road she's on. Rasheena, learn how to get out that friend zone, girl. Learn how to get out that friend zone. Once you do that, I think Rasheena will make a good mate for someone. Patrice, girl, you may want to stop going out with these bad boys. You may want to stop going out with the bad boys. I don't know if it's serving you well. And Vanessa, everybody in Coach ain't a bad. Everybody in Coach. You don't have to just go after the men in first class. Chaz, the way he looks, the way he dresses, the way he talks. Girl, you better watch him. You better look at him. Just don't go off the fact that he's sitting in first class and you make a whole lot of assumptions about him. Look a little deeper. Use your eyes, girl, not just what they talking about sitting in first class. People's pickers are off. People's pickers are off. Be sure to use your eyes and your ears if you got picker problems out here in the streets. If you got picker problems, make sure you use both your eyes and your ears, and you're not heavily leaning on just your ears. People telling you what they're going to be, what they're going to do for you. Watch what they do and watch what they have done. Okay, that's it, y'all. Talk to you later. Bye.